Imagine your body right now as you're listening to this deep dive. Like your ears processing the sound, your brain translating the words.
It feels incredibly real.
Exactly. But we know from our studies of Chapter 13 that everything physical, your body, your brain, the device you're listening on, it's all part of the lower nature.
Right. It's all just the illusion.
Yeah, made up of these completely inert, lifeless combinations of aura, energy, and matter. But if that's true, I mean, who is actually experiencing this moment?
Who is the one listening?
Right, who is observing?
So that is the ultimate paradox that verses 4 to 7 really zero in on. Because we already know Brahman is the only truly conscious entity.
It's the higher nature.
Exactly, the higher nature. But it's so hard to reconcile that with our own undeniable everyday feeling of being alive and aware.
Okay, well, let's unpack this contradiction. Because if the entire created universe, and that includes my brain and my thoughts, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If all of that is just this unconscious dead illusion, how do we explain, you and me having this very real conversation right now?
Well, the text resolves this by looking really closely at the physical body itself. Because the body seems conscious right now, sure.
Yeah, it feels pretty conscious to me.
Right, but we know it doesn't have inherent awareness. Think about deep sleep, or even death.
Oh, right. The physical materials are all still there on the bed.
Exactly. But the awareness completely vanishes. So it's actually the mind that lends this feeling of consciousness to the body.
Hold on, though. Because the mind is part of the created universe, too, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So the mind has to be just as inert and dead as the physical body. How can a dead thing lend consciousness to, well, another dead thing?
This is where we have to look at the specific mechanics of the mind. Because while most non-living things like rocks or chairs are made almost entirely of the energy and matter elements of the illusion.
The mind is different.
Yeah, it contains a significantly higher concentration of that third element, aura.
Ah, okay, an aura acts like a highly polished surface.
Right.
So just like a physical mirror doesn't generate its own light, but it can, blind you by catching the sun.
Yes.
The mind doesn't generate its own consciousness. It's totally inert, but it's so saturated with aura that it catches and reflects the pure consciousness of Brahman.
Precisely. That reflection of Brahman in the mirror of your mind is what creates the ego.
The feeling of I.
Exactly. And when you combine that reflected ego with the inert mind, you get what we commonly experience as life. And what's really fascinating here is how the text uses the pot space analogy to ground this.
Oh, I love this one.
Right. So imagine a clay pot on a table. There's space enclosed inside the pot and space outside it.
But the space itself isn't different.
No, it's just temporarily enclosed by clay. In that exact same way, Atman, which is Brahman enlivening your specific body right now, is no different from the infinite Brahman.
So the consciousness isn't generated by you. It is the all-encompassing reality just, temporarily reflecting in your specific mirror.
Yeah.
But if my individual life is just a reflection, what does that mean for the universe as a whole? Like, if a reflection vanishes the second you cover a mirror and reappears when you uncover it.
Is the universe doing the same thing?
Yeah. Is it?
It is. Because if we connect this micro experience to the macro, creation isn't some one-time historical event that happened billions of years ago.
Right. It's not a single Big Bang and done.
No, it is a continuous, eternal cycle of manifestation, sustenance, and resolution.
Just like you waking up, going about your day, and falling asleep.
Exactly. And even death in this framework is essentially just waking up in a new body minus the accumulated memories.
Man, here's where it gets really interesting for anyone obsessed with the how of the universe, because we constantly argue about the exact sequence of creation.
Oh, all the time.
Like, what came first? How did it happen step by step? But the text uses this brilliant magician analogy.
Right, the hat trick.
Yeah, if a magician shows you an empty hat, waves a wand, and pulls out a rabbit and then a dove, you don't sit there and argue about whether the rabbit or the dove was created first in the hat.
Because neither of them was actually in the hat.
Exactly. The sequence is irrelevant because the whole performance is an illusion.
Yes.
And once you realize the observed universe is fundamentally an unexplainable illusion, arguing about the exact sequence of how the illusion unfolded completely misses the point.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway for you, listening right now. You are the observer.
Right.
You are not the inert observed delusion, the thoughts in your head, the ego that gets frustrated or excited, that is just the polished aura of your mind reflecting reality.
So your entire sense of self interacting with the world is, well, just a mirror catching the light of Brahman.
Basically, yes.
Which leaves us with a pretty profound question to sit with today. If your mind is simply a mirror reflecting the only true consciousness that exists, what happens to that reflection when you finally stop looking at the mirror and turn your gaze toward the light itself?